The moment the mind moves, life becomes secondary. What is life here? Life is not stimulation, meaning making, thinking about things, emotional drama, interest, excitement, or curiosity. Life is direct contact with the body, with the task, with silence, with what is, without commentary. Life is first hand. What is secondary? Secondary means indirect, symbolic, representational, psychological, narrative based. A substitute is always about life, never life itself. Thinking about cricket is not life. Thinking about desire is not desire. Thinking about work is not working. Thinking about rest is not rest. These are shadows. So, what does the moment the mind moves, life becomes secondary actually mean? It means this: the moment thought steps into meditate experience, you are no longer living, you are commentating. The mind doesn't experience, it interprets. Interpretation is already one step removed. Why does movement make life secondary? Because movement requires time. Past, memory, future, anticipation, comparison, projection. Life is only now. The moment the mind moves, it leaves now. So what remains is memory replay, fantasy rehearsal, strategy simulation. None of these are alive. Look closely. IPL auction. Nothing is happening in your life. Your body is sitting, your breath is steady, but the mind is busy elsewhere. Life is here, attention is there. That split makes life secondary. Gym fantasy. Your body is training, that is life. Then thought enters, image, desire, identity. Now the body becomes background, the image becomes foreground. Life is demoted. Scrolling while resting. The body wants stillness, the nervous system wants quiet, but the mind cannot tolerate simplicity, so it creates motion. Rest becomes a concept. Stimulation replaces contact. Again, life becomes secondary. This is not moral, it's mechanical. You are not wrong for substitutes. You are not weak. This is simply how thought works. Thought cannot touch life directly, it can only represent. So, when thought dominates, representation replaces reality. Why does this matter? Because energy flows to what is primary. If life is primary, action is clean, effort is minimal, rest is restorative, joy is quiet and stable. If substitutes are primary, craving multiplies, rest exhausts, attention fragments, identity tightens. You already know this in your body. Life is direct contact. Thought is commentary. When commentary takes over, life becomes secondary. That's all this means. There are only two modes of living, not morally, not spiritually, mechanically. Direct experience. Direct experience is what is happening without thought. Right now, the weight of the body on the chair, the contact of feet with the ground, the screen in front of the eyes, the breath moving. This does not require thinking, it is undeniable, it is complete. This is life itself. It has no commentary, no comparison, no meaning, no identity. It does not say I am enough or I am rejected. It simply is. Indirect experience, psychological life. The moment the mind says, that relative humiliated me, that girl rejected me, I am below the hierarchy. What if I had been different? What if she liked me? You are no longer living. You are replaying symbols. That relative is not here. That girl is not here. That past moment is not here. Only images are here. Images are not life. They are representations. Direct experience is contact. Indirect experience is narration. Narration is always second hand. Even it feels intense, even it feels emotional, even it feels personal, intensity does not make it real. Repetition does not make it alive. Why the mind prefers indirect experience? Because direct experience has no identity. When you sit silently, there is no successive me, no rejected me, no improving me, no proving me. For the ego, this is unacceptable. So the mind says, let me remember, let me fantasize, let me resolve, let me replay. That replay creates a center. That center feels like me. Every indirect experience is secondary life. Yes, exactly. Secondary does not mean bad, it means derivative. Just like a photograph is secondary to the person, a map is secondary to the territory, commentary is secondary to the event, psychological experience is about life, not life. See this clearly. When the mind is in past humiliation, imagined future acceptance, fantasy of attraction, hierarchy, comparison. Life is happening elsewhere. The body is here, reality is here, attention is not. That is why the moment the mind moves, life becomes secondary. Because attention leaves contact and enters narration. Life is what happens without thought. Everything thought touches becomes second hand. Sit with that. Don't correct the mind. Don't fight narratives. Don't suppress memory. Just notice this fact again and again. This is happening indirectly. This is only being thought about. That saying itself is clarity. And clarity, not effort, ends movement. Why psychological life feels real? Because the body reacts. Thought says, you were rejected. The body tightens. The chest contracts. Emotion appears. You mistake the bodily reaction for reality. But the body is reacting to an image, not an event. Just like the body jump in a dream, the jump feels real. The tiger is not. Psychological life is time bound. Life happens now. Psychological experience happens in past replay, future projection, comparison across time. Time itself is a mental construct. So, psychological life is experience inside a concept of time sustained by memory. That cannot be primary. Why does psychological life make the mind move? Because psychological life exists only as movement. Let me explain. Psychological experience is made of memory, imagination, comparison, interpretation, becoming. All of these require motion and time. Without movement, memory cannot replay, fantasy cannot continue, identity cannot sustain itself. So the mind must keep moving. Otherwise, psychological life dies. That is why it feels restless, compulsive, repetitive. Direct experience requires no movement. When you are simply sitting, body touching chair, breath happening, eyes seeing screen, nothing needs to move mentally. There is no problem to solve, no identity to protect, no story to continue. So the mind naturally becomes quiet. That quiet is not created, it is revealed. Psychological life is unnecessary movement, not because it is bad, but because it is extra. Like reviving an engine while the car is parked. Energy is being spent, but nothing real is happening. That is why, after thinking, fantasizing, analyzing, replaying, you feel tired without having lived. Why the mind insists on movement? Because the ego depends on it. The false self lives by agitation. Without movement, no superiority, no inferiority, no success, no failure, no me. So the mind keeps itself busy. This busyness is not life, it is maintenance of illusion. Why indirect experience feels compelling? Because it promises control. Psychological life says, if I think enough, I'll resolve it. If I replay it, I'll heal it. If I imagine better, I'll feel better. But thought can only circle itself. It cannot touch reality. So the movement continues. This is the key understanding. Direct experience is complete. Psychological experience is compensatory. You enter psychological life only when you leave contact. You resist what is. You want something else. That something else is always imaginary. Why silence feels right to you? Because silence is not an achievement. It is what remains when unnecessary movement ends. And movement ends naturally when you see it serves no real function. You stop mistaking it for life. Psychological life keeps the mind moving because without movement it cannot exist. Direct experience is still because it needs nothing. That is the whole matter. Do not try to stay in direct experience. Do not fight psychological life. Just notice this fact. Movement adds nothing to reality. Seeing that deeply is enough. So, life does not need to be entered. You are already in it. What pulls you away is not the world, not people, not events. It is unnecessary mental movement. Psychological life survives only by keeping the mind busy, replaying, comparing, fantasizing, repairing. Without movement, it collapses. Direct experience is different. It does not ask for attention. It does not demand meaning. It does not need improvement. It is simply here. When you see clearly that mental movement adds nothing to reality, the urge to move fades on its own. Silence is not cultivated. It is what remains when the false becomes unnecessary. That is all.